Hey guys, what's going on? I decided to make a short video on how to remove and reinstall the custom 240 rim and tire on my Honda VTX1300. This is not a step-by-step video, but rather a general overview of the process. Whenever you work on a bike, have a shop manual by your side, all the tools the manual lists for the specific job, and make sure you work in a safe environment. Since we're mainly concerned about the tire and rim removal, I already took off the rear fender and taillights. Removing the exhaust isn't necessary, but I did it so you guys can get a better view of what I'm doing. Although it's not necessary to remove the brake line clips, I do it so I can pull the brake line completely out of the way while working on the rear setup. The fewer things whipping around back there, the less worries about putting the ding in the rim. Next, I remove the brake line at the caliper. Having a metric 10 by 1.25 bolt handy to keep the brake fluid from leaking out is highly recommended. This step is not necessary on stock bikes, but I found it to be the least complicated way to do it on a wide 240 rim. Who knew a little piece of wire could be so handy? Now I take off the caliper and rotor as one unit. I remove the 8x22 rotor bolts. They have lock nuts on the back side. I remove the 14mm brake pin and of course the 27mm axle nut using a 12mm Allen socket to hold the axle in place. For this video, I've already loosened the 4 final drive mounting bolts. At this point, keep one hand on the wheel and use the other hand to place the final drive on a towel that you have already placed on the floor just for this occasion. Notice I disconnected the drive shaft from the final drive before pulling it all the way out. Now slide the back of the wheel slightly left and then pull it out to avoid hitting the rim on the swing arm. That's all there's to it. Here's the original spacer and a new dust seal. When removing the final drive, the drive shaft will either come out of the U-joint in the housing, as in my case, or at the final drive. It can be a bit tricky to pop it back into the swing arm side, as the U-joint doesn't always line up properly with the drive shaft. You need to put a little pressure on it while turning to pop it back into the joint. There, that wasn't so bad. Hey, remember this technique next time you have a dislocated shoulder. Now let's put it all back together again, being careful not to bang the shiny new rim on the bad swing arm. With only an 1/8 inch clearance on either side, I put a shop rag in there to protect the rim. This part takes a bit of jostling around to line the stuff up. Use the axle rod to help along in the process. I don't push the axle all the way through, as I still have to install the caliper, rotor, and brake mounting bracket. Tighten the 4 drive mounting bolts to help put everything back in place. Now it's time to put the caliper and rotor and brake bracket back as one unit. Again, I'm being extra careful here in order not to scratch the rim as I reinstall these. Once everything lines up, I push the axle all the way through. Tighten all nuts and bolts to proper specs and you're almost home free. As stated at the beginning of this video, have a manual handy for all the bolt sizes and torque specifications to complete the job. Oh, and make sure the dust spring seats properly. Here's a close-up of just how close the tolerances are in my case. I made the swing arm myself and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Reinstall the brake line, bleed the brakes, and the job is done. Thanks for watching, hope you found this information helpful, and I'll see you next time. Take care. So, if you enjoyed this video, check out some of my other videos and subscribe to my channel. That'll keep me motivated to crank out some more interesting stuff. For comments or requests, just leave a note in the, you guessed it, comments section. Thanks a lot. Take care.